Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel but like what you see, please consider subscribing. Also, giving me a big thumbs up really helps me out here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank today's sponsor, Temu. And with all of that being said, let's jump right into these fabric DIYs, beginning with this amazing wood round that you can layer in several different ways. So I said wood round. This is faux wood, kind of that particle board from Dollar Tree, but you could use a real wood round if you wanted to. And I'm just going ahead and removing the tag and also any 3D pieces. And then I am gluing the handle or the hanger so that it goes straight up so I can just put the fabric over top of it without having to worry about putting the handle through those holes. Now I'm just going to put a generous amount of hot glue all around the edges and push my fabric onto it, pulling as tightly as possible. And I'm also going to push outward so any excess glue goes outward and I can just trim it off. You could also Mod Podge this if you wanted to, or if you had a really heavy glue stick or tacky glue, but this worked well for me, just trimming off any excess with a pair of sharp fabric scissors. Now here is what I have. Now here you have several options, my friend. You can layer fabrics. I had this beautiful blue fabric that actually came with this other fabric, and I had some burlap fabric. I'm going to show you what these fabrics look like in a package here in a minute, but I chose to take a piece of this beautiful blue fabric and lay it down on top of my floral pattern because my burlap is see-through and I didn't want to be able to see through to the busy background. So I just layered down this blue color, and then I took a strip of this burlap, and it is from Hobby Lobby. It was from the fall section. I believe I got it 90% off, but Dollar Tree carries burlap as well. And here is what this looks like. Now I just attached a hanger on the back with a piece of twine and a little piece of fabric. Now you could put a wooden word on here. You could put wooden bunnies from Dollar Tree, wooden carrots. You could do whatever you like. But here's how versatile this is. I'm actually taking a basket that I had on hand that wasn't being used, and I'm tying it onto my basket. I am then going to layer on this M that I got from the thrift store and painted, and this is just so cute for a nice layered project. I think this round piece would be so nice layered in many different ways, or like I said, you could add something to the front to make it its own sign. So this is just an idea for you. Very customizable, and I really hope that you like it. Okay, let's jump into our next DIY, another customizable DIY. I'm going to show you how I made this homemade, if I have to stir it, it's homemade rolling pin sign. Here is that fabric that I used in the last DIY. I purchased it at Walmart for just a few dollars. It is Pioneer Woman fabric. So I'm just showing you each piece here. This is what I'm going to use for my rolling pin, and I'm going to use these two Farm Fresh cutting boards from Dollar Tree. I'm going to flip them over, and I am going to glue on the busy side. I just use a spare piece of wood I had in my stash, but you could use popsicle sticks or whatever you had on hand. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to paint my handles with white chalk paint by Waverly. Now you could paint the whole thing if you wanted to, but I don't have a lot of paint, so I just did this, knowing that I was going to apply a generous coat of Mod Podge and then spread my fabric tightly over the top. I just pull it and stretch it so there is no wrinkles, and then once my fabric is in position, I'm going to Mod Podge over that again. Once everything is dry, I'm just going to trim around the edges and make sure that I have a nice clean finish. I then had this gorgeous rope. It's almost like rope, but it is a cotton craft cord, and I recently found this at Hobby Lobby in several different colors. It's very inexpensive, so now it is my go-to. I'm just going to wrap it around several times on each of the handles, as I think this looks really nice. Then I'm going to take a strip of burlap and cut it in half, as it was pretty thick, but I want an embellishment for either side of this rolling pin. I'm just going to glue this down on either side and wrap it around. Taking some more of that cotton cord, I'm going to run a strip on top of each side, right on top of that burlap, and I'm just going to cut it off at the sides and glue it down so it does not fray. And then here's what it looks like. So customizable, so cute. You can find the image on Cricut Design Space, but you could put anything you liked on there. So our next DIY idea is actually a couple of different ideas put together as one. Well, put together as two. You'll see here in a second. So I show you the round frames I just showed you and also this one. And here's what they look like from Dollar Tree: two mirrors and a glass frame. Now I'm just going to take them apart and I'm going to use my fabric right on top of the round signs. I'm going to trace around that mirror there. Yes, I know it is weird that I'm using this bright pink marker. It is all I could find on hand. It was 1 o'clock in the morning and I just did not feel like rooting around, but I'm just going to pull this tightly and glue it right on either side of the mirror. And as you can see, there's kind of that lip of that supporting particle board there. I'm then going to test my frame and make sure it looks okay. Now to the other frame, I'm going to remove the backing, although if you want this to stand up, just go ahead and leave it on. I'm going to twist those little holders that are holding my back on and remove it, as well as the glass. Now I'm just going to take the very backing and I'm going to cover it in fabric. Once I've done that, I am going to insert the glass back in, and here's what it looks like. I take all my frames and paint them with Waverly White chalk paint. And then here's my idea for this frame. I'm going to take a piece of that blue fabric and I'm going to glue it around the bottom, creating a pocket. First, I'm going to fold over the top to give myself a neat little line, tack it down, and then I'll be gluing down to the back. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to give you some of my ideas for the round signs. Now, I left mine plain to go in my kitchen as I have a Pioneer Woman kitchen, but for Easter time, I think I'm going to take a couple of wood cutouts from Dollar Tree that come 8 or 10 to a pack. They have bunnies, they have carrots, and I think they would be so cute right on top of those round ones painted. But here is what my little pocket DIY looks like. I just put some more of that cotton cord around the top. So here's the round ones. How cute would they be with little wooden cutouts on them, or even wooden words to further embellish? I just thought they were really cute statement pieces, just like this. And here is that pocket again. I tucked some greenery from Dollar Tree down inside of it, and I think it is so pretty. Okay, guys, let's talk about today's sponsor, Temu. I've actually ordered from them a couple of times independently before this collaboration even came about, and they are amazing. My packages were delivered fairly quickly and they were packaged well. Here's what the website looks like. They have so many categories. So right now, I'm just showing you all of the categories that they have, and everything is very, very inexpensive and fairly good quality. Of course, it really depends on what you're looking for, but I can say that I'm really impressed with everything that we have ordered. My 15-year-old son orders as well. He has his own little business, and when he gets money, the first thing he does is pop open his computer or his phone and go on the Temu app. So now I'm just showing you some of the amazing deals that they have. They also have really unique stuff that you don't really see anywhere else. So if you have someone in your life that's like really hard to gift to, Temu would probably be a great place to find gifts. So I am featuring right now their clothing and fashion and how inexpensive it is. So look here, for $8.99, $10.29, $9.89, all of those inexpensive prices under or around $10, you get these adorable shirts. Now, they are so cute, and the shirts that I received were good quality. They are pretty true to size. I ordered mine 8 to 10. I'm usually a small, medium, and women's, but I wanted the 8 to 10 because I wanted to be able to tie the t-shirts in the front with that kind of trendy little tie. So here is the things that I ordered. The most expensive being the sweatshirt and the women's loose tie-dye top. That was so silky and so comfortable, and I would have paid more at any other store. They arrived packaged in this little plastic bag. Here's a little collage of the 4 of them. I don't have a picture of the pink shirt that actually didn't arrive with the other ones, but is en route. So here's what these looks like. They are inexpensive, versatile, colorful, and comfy. And I can't believe that most of them were under $10. I absolutely love this Highland cow. I'm going to pair it with some jeans and some running shoes and tie a little knot in the front, like I said. Probably have my hair in a messy bun, but I think it is so fashionable and so cute. This sweatshirt was so soft. I honestly didn't have time to try on all of these and model them for you, and I'm not an amazing model anyway, but I had to model this one. It was so comfortable. It was honestly my favorite. I loved tie-dye. So here's what that looks like. And then I thought this would be super cute for fall or a chilly day to wear with some high brown boots would be super cute. This is just adorable for a day where you're not getting super dressed up but want to look nice. So I am going to have all my Temu related information in my description box, as well as a discount code that will save you off of your first order. If you are a new customer, it is an amazing deal. So definitely head to my description box and check that out. All right, with all of that being said, let's jump back into these fabric DIYs. And I'm going to show you real quick some gorgeous fabric DIYs that I had done. And I had posted them again recently. This cute bunny and cute carrot inspired by Sammy over at Unicorn Desk Design, as well as this bunny head and these stuffed carrots. I'm going to have all of these linked below in my description box as well. They're all in one video. So if you finish watching this video and you're looking for more Pioneer Woman inspired DIYs or fabric DIYs, you can find that link easily in my description box. All right, moving on. Let's create these cute little color block decor pieces that are perfect for staging or a background. They are from Dollar Tree, $1.25. They're solid MDF pieces, very thick. I just took some strips of fabric that I had on hand, and they have ridges in them, so you can just push the side of the fabric down into those ridges with your fingernail to give you a nice clean finish. And then I just hot glued around the edge and trimmed off the excess. Again, if you wanted to use a heavy duty glue stick, a tacky glue, or even a Mod Podge, that would be fine. But again, this worked out perfectly for me. I just tried to make sure that my strip in the middle was almost a perfect size, so I didn't really have to worry about trimming it too much, as that's a little bit awkward, and then just made sure that any excess was tucked down in those ridges. But there's so many things you can do with these. They're perfect for a tiered tray. They stand up independently, so you can have them sideways or lengthways standing up. You can use them as a background for something or put them in something small like this. Okay, moving on to our next DIY. I'm going to show you how I made over this cute little Easter basket from Dollar Tree with Dollar Tree items. Of course, I'm going to remove the tag and hanger from the top, and then I'm going to stain this with Waverly Antique Wax, rubbing it on and off. I had this bunny face on one side, and it was polka dotted fabric on the other side. It was actually a basket from Dollar Tree last year. I just thought that the stiff fabric would be perfect for this DIY. To the back of my basket, I applied some hot glue, and I laid this piece of fabric so that the polka dot part would show right through. Flipping it back over, I grabbed some of these moss bunnies from Dollar Tree. They come several to a pack, and I'm going to give them a trim on one side so that they lay a little bit flatter on top of my basket and don't stick out as much. Once I get them right, I'm going to glue the 3 of these down. Again, I just use some scissors to kind of flatten out the one side, and I'm gluing them down with hot glue. They are not going to perfectly cover these eggs, but we are going to embellish around them, so I don't worry about them. I just try to make sure that I have some nice spacing and they look cute. So here we are, just hot gluing them down. But Dollar Tree also sells plain foam bunnies if you want to decoupage a napkin on top of them, or you want to put moss on them yourself or paint them. So tons of ideas. These beautiful roses I absolutely love to use from Walmart. They're very inexpensive. They come with some pretty greenery on there, and the roses are adorable and a really nice size. They're small and perfect for detailed projects like this. I'm just going to cut these roses off and tuck them all around these little bunnies, as well as taking off tiny pieces of the greenery that comes on this little stem, again for just a few dollars, and tucking that around. To the bottom of my basket, I'm going to put a couple pieces of greenery going each way, just for some added embellishment to tie everything together. And then I will glue down a small, tiny little rose right in the center of that. Now I'm going to cover up the bow on this basket with an actual bow. I'm just going to create a small bow with some ribbon that I had in my stash. I am honestly not sure exactly where it came from, but I usually get my ribbon from Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree or Dollar General, so it was most likely a Hobby Lobby find. I just do one loop on either side and add another piece of ribbon for tails. I tie it tightly in the middle and then glue it down right on top of that wooden bow. I'm adding another little flower in the middle, and here's what this looks like. I think it is so adorable. Again, any of the ways that I mentioned that you could customize it would be adorable as well. Okay, let's jump right into our next DIY. Beautiful and useful kitchen caddy with fabric. So I have these 3 wooden hanging decor pieces from Dollar Tree. I'm removing the hangers. I also have those 2 chalkboard tags that come to you for $1.25 and are the perfect size for this project. I'm going to paint all of my wooden pieces with Snow White chalk paint, and I will also paint both sides of my tags with Snow White chalk paint. Once that is done, I'm taking 2 of these painted pieces of wood and I'm going to Mod Podge on one side, half of each. So as you can see, I'm doing opposites here. I'm laying my fabric down on the Mod Podge parts, and then I'm going to do the opposite on the other side like so. I do Mod Podge over the top and allow it to dry, trimming off any excess. Now for my third piece, I'm just going to paint one side, as that's going to be the bottom. Here's those tags I keep mentioning. You can use your heat gun to remove the sticky part off the back. I painted both sides with my Snow White chalk paint by Waverly. I applied a generous amount of hot glue and then took 2 pieces of that blue fabric and just made sure that it was nice and flat on one side. That's going to be the side of our crate. So here's all the pieces that we will need. Time for assembly. We are going to lay that one piece that doesn't have any fabric on it down to be our bottom. I'm going to take a few faux Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree and glue them down so I have more surface to glue to the sides, and just attach my side with the fabric facing outward. Once I get my crate all built, I am going to go ahead and paint back over those Jenga blocks. Now I'm going to glue in my tag signs, making sure again that the fabric is outward. You do have to be a little bit careful with these Dollar Tree wooden pieces. They can kind of be bent or misshapen sometimes, so just do your best. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I found this little rolling pin a couple of years ago at Dollar General for $1, but they should still have something similar. I did cover the sides with some more of that blue fabric to make it all cohesive, and I glued that to the front of one of the sides of my caddy. You could absolutely add a handle to your caddy going all the way across. I honestly did not, because I wanted to be able to put tall things in here and not have to worry about the handle impeding that or getting in my way. So I added a couple of mugs, a couple of kitchen utensils, as well as a full-size rolling pin and a little hand towel. I just think that this is so cute, and I hope that you like it too. So this next DIY is going to be using Dollar Tree supplies. I absolutely love it. Here's what it looks like displayed with some farmhouse stuff. So we are going to begin with a galvanized mason jar from the Dollar Tree, some Dollar Tree burlap, and some little flowers that I found in the scrapbooking section of Hobby Lobby, 50% off. But you could use Dollar Tree flowers as well. I'm going to take a Dollar Tree sanding sponge and sand the surface of my mason jar to make it accept the paint better and make the paint adhere. And once that is done, I'm going to paint it with a generous coat of Waverly Plaster chalk paint. I am then going to take a strip of this burlap ribbon, cut it down to size so I can stretch it across the middle of my mason jar, and I'm going to remove a few strings on either side just to give it that kind of rustic farmhouse look. I'm going to trim down the sides, and then I'm just going to glue this on either side of the mason jar so it looks like this. Be careful to use a finger protector if you're going to touch the hot glue. I've gotten a lot of burns over my lifetime, so please just be careful. Dollar Tree does sell these little pink finger protectors. Now I'm going to take these adorable burlap flowers that again I got several to a pack at Hobby Lobby in their scrapbooking section when they were 50% off. So that makes it about Dollar Tree prices. And how adorable this looks. I'm just going to put 3 of them there. Then I'm going to take this little wooden blessed word that comes from a pack at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint it black with Dollar Tree chalkboard paint, and then use some hot glue to adhere it right to the middle of the strip of burlap fabric. I am then going to take the brush that I used to paint my blessed, and I'm just going to use the paint that is on it to gently distress around my mason jar sides and also across the top of my mason jar where the ridges would be. Once that is done, I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm going to glue it down and wrap it around the top of the mason jar where the ridges would be. So just kind of gluing it to the back and then wrapping it around 3 times, trimming it off and gluing it to the back again. Then I will insert a piece of twine through the hole at the top, and here you see I had thought I was done. I decided to go back later to add in wood beads so it would fit with the look that I was going for, but you absolutely don't have to do this, or you could change the color on them if you wanted to. I just ran my piece of twine through the other side and then went ahead and glued that down. This is so cute and so customizable. If you don't want to use the burlap fabric, you could use any color or pattern of fabric right across the middle of that mason jar there, and it would be so adorable. You could even make fabric flowers in any kind of different pattern or color that you wanted to. So I hope that you like this idea. It's not quite as bright as the others, but I thought it was worth including in. Now for this next one, this is one of my favorites and hangs in my kitchen to this day, and I actually made this last year. I had purchased this mason jar with a cutout M, and I'm going to remove the hanger. I am going to remove that galvanized piece at the top, and I actually remove whatever paper I can, and I use a red paint by Folk Art. I don't know what happened to this paint bottle. One of my kids did something, and I can't even tell what color it is, but it's like a dark deep red by Folk Art, or the equivalent I believe would be like a crimson probably in Waverly. But I went ahead and glued back down that little galvanized piece at the top. I flipped it over, and then I'm going to take a piece of fabric that is Pioneer Woman that I purchased at Walmart, and I'm just going to cover that M by gluing down and stretching tightly because I don't want to see any bunches or lumps through my cutout M. So I'm just making sure that I get everything nice and tight, and I'm using a popsicle stick to push down that hot glue so that I do not burn my fingers. So again, this is super easy. You could paint your mason jar any color that you want. You could use any type of fabric that you want. Very customizable. I just absolutely love how this looks, which is surprising because I'm not normally into red, but I just thought that this was so cute. So once that is all done, and I'm sorry about having 2 little pieces of paper here. I'm not sure what was going on. I like to use this brown craft paper to craft on, but I don't know why there was a seam there. Anyhow, I added a hanger to the back of this with a piece of rope, and then I'm going to create a bow for the top with some Dollar Tree ribbon. I just fold it over so that I have 1 loop on either side, and then I dovetail my tails, which is just folding your tail over and cutting a triangle upward. I tied it tightly in the middle with a piece of twine, but you could use a zip tie or a pipe cleaner if you wanted to. I took some boxwood greenery that I usually find at Walmart very inexpensively and took off some little pieces of it that I could glue down on either side because I thought that this just created a really nice look and also made it really cohesive with that fabric inside of the M. It looks like boxwood greenery around those roses to me. I added a little bit of baby's breath on either side too, just to kind of soften it up, and I thought that was really pretty. Now, if you don't like distressing, totally stop here, but I am going to come in with some Waverly plaster, I believe it was, and I'm going to put it on a dry brush and dry brush all around. Now before I do that, I almost forgot I had taken another strip of the ribbon that I made the bow with, and I just glued that around the bottom of my mason jar just to add a little extra something, and I thought it looked really cute and made the bow look really cohesive. So here's where we're going in with that dry brushing effect. I'm just taking a little bit of paint on the small brush and just lightly going around the edges. I do go across in some places too. If you get it a little bit dark in some places, you can just go ahead and buff it out with a paper towel or an old rag. And here's what it looks like. I think it is so cute. Again, this will be something that I will keep and I absolutely love. Well, most of the DIYs in this video are new, but there are a couple that I included from last year, including this one. I just thought that they perfectly matched our theme, but this one was actually inspired by Rebecca Virginia DIY, and here is hers up in the corner. It was so cute and not exactly the same, but just where I got the inspiration. So I have another one of these baskets from Dollar Tree that are made of fabric, and I had a old mason jar that I had painted with a couple of coats of Waverly Plaster Chalk paint for a previous project. Now I'm going to begin preparing my basket by removing the tag, the hanger, and the ears, and then I'm just going to open the basket up by cutting down the seam. Oh, I guess I do that before I remove the ears. Okay, because we just want this to be a big piece of fabric that we can work with. So once I get that done, and of course I'm cutting out the little tag on the inside as well, I am going to go ahead and fit that little mason jar in there and just kind of pull it tightly so I see where I need to cut off excess. Once I get it fit in there and the excess is trimmed off, I can just pull this fabric tightly around, and using hot glue, I'm going to glue it down. I will have a seam in the back, but that is okay with me because the back will not be seen. If you wanted to do it a little bit differently, that would be okay too, but again, the seam does not look bad. Just gather here and there where you need to create a nice tight seam and hot glue it. And I promise you that we are taking those ears off right now because we want to tighten the top of this fabric as well. We're going to have to create a fold on either side to fit this fabric around the mouth of the jar, but the folds will be covered up by the ears, so everything will still look super nice. So I'm just gluing down these little folds that I have gathered to make sure the top of this jar is nice and tidy looking. Then I'm just going to take my little ears and glue them down right on top of those folds. I do glue them a little bit lower because we are going to come in with a piece of the handle and go around this top just to clean it up and make it look nice. So I'm going right over those ears and just making sure that my seam where I'm covering up here matches with the seam of the fabric that is covering up the jar. Just gluing everything down and then trimming off that excess. Now, I'm not sure what happened to the footage where I create a bow for this, but I do use one of these little treat bags from Dollar Tree. Actually, two of them, I believe. They come 8 to 10 to a pack, and I just use a little piece of the fabric for the inside of the mason jar to kind of clean it up a little bit. And I also used a piece with a piece of that handle to create a bow. So I used a piece of the handle, a piece of the little burlap from the bag, and a piece of twine to create a little bow that I attached to the side of my bunny, and then just put some more of those little walnut roses that I absolutely love right inside. Again, super customizable however you want to do this. I just think it is a fun and easy project that I hope maybe you'll try out.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget that thumbs up, and take care, friends.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft, and stay safe.